When we create a shape in Google SketchUp, we've seen in other videos that we can delete parts of it, and that can be helpful, but it can also be problematic. For instance, if I've drawn a simple square and I select one edge and delete it, all I'm left with are the 3 remaining edges, and I've lost the center space, that sort of the flat part that filled in. Similarly, if I create a 3-dimensional shape and I click on the face and delete that, I'm left with sort of the outside of a box with one side missing. That can be helpful, but it can also be problematic. So one of the things we would like to be able to do is to be able to move things around on screen. So if I select Move, I select the Move tool, and I click on something and drag, you can see that rather than moving the object, I'm distorting the object. So if I do this and then use my Orbit tool to change the perspective, you can see we really changed the shape here. It's no longer a rectangle. Even if I click on Move and move a face, it moves that face around, but again, it's distorting the overall shape of my object. So if I rotate around here, you can see we no longer have a nice regular rectangular prism. We've got a much more distorted shape. So when I move things, I want to be able to move the whole rectangle around. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my Select tool, and I'm going to click and drag a selection box around the whole object. So this time I'm going to right-click on my object, and I can say Make a Group. By calling Make a Group now, whenever I click on it, you can see the highlight box, instead of selecting just the face, it now highlights the whole object. So that when I use the Move tool, for example, I can now click and move, and the whole object moves around. So as you're making more complex designs, the Move facility is very, very useful. It allows you to combine multiple drawings of things together and have them working in one design and not be worried about having pieces breaking apart and accidentally deleting pieces. So that gives us the ability to move. We also have the ability to rotate the actual object. So I'm just going to shift my orientation here a little bit. In addition to the Move tool, we also have the ability to rotate an object. So I select the Rotation tool, and this time you can see when I put my cursor over top, I get a sort of a circle, like a full circle protractor, and it changes the color depending on which face it's resting on. So here it's resting on the face right in front of us. I can click there once, and again I get that control handle like I had when I was drawing an arc. But this time, when I click on the edge and I move it, it now turns the whole object on that angle. So depending on what you want to do in your drawing, you may want something to be on an angle. You have the ability to click and move your object into whatever orientation you want. Now supposing you wanted to make changes to an object, once you created this group, you also have the ability, if you right click on it, you can edit the group. So you edit the group, now you can select any object or any part of that object that you want to play around with. So if we now wanted to distort it, or maybe we just wanted to do a new push, I could change the push on it, or maybe I wanted to draw a rectangle on the face here and push that piece through. So I could do that, and I could pull something around. So it allows you to go and edit the object that you had just created as that group, and then once you're done that, you can just click away from it, and now when you go back to, say, the Move tool again, when you're moving it, you're moving the whole object again, just like you were before.